Welcome back, folks. Sheepdog Smokey here, and we're getting more of the same from the left as we hear senator and after senator, representative after representative demand that the Russia probe just continue and that there's evidence in plain sight, as according to Schiff, despite the Mueller report having been issued and showing that there is no evidence of either collusion or obstruction. Now Joe Biden is demanding that no investigation even be done into corruption charges or corruption allegations against his son with regard to Ukraine. Now, let's remember that Biden has a son that had an affair with his brother's widow prior to divorcing his wife and marrying his brother's widow. Biden himself is running obstruction on this in the news. Granted, that's not obstruction. It is simply him speaking. Although when Donald Trump spoke to the news and said, "I'm innocent, nothing happened, didn't do it," they demanded that be, of course, just clear proof of obstruction. But it's a very interesting and very worrying dichotomy that we're seeing here. With Democrats, you're not even allowed to investigate. With Republicans, you're not allowed to claim, you're not allowed to even say that you're innocent of the charges they're bringing against you. Donald Trump did not obstruct the Mueller probe. James Comey was fired prior to the probe beginning, so that is not obstruction. That was a rightful termination of an inept person from their job. After that, Rosenstein, Mueller, nothing was obstructed. Unprecedented access to White House documents, papers, and personnel. And after over 2 years, Mueller issued his report that there is no obstruction. There was no collusion. And Democrats refused to accept it. But when it comes to the son of one of the frontrunners for the DNC nomination next year, we're not allowed to investigate. And this is classic guilt we're seeing here. When someone is guilty of something, they do all they can to actively stop research or investigation. They don't just talk to people and say, "I didn't do it, I'm innocent, this is a witch hunt." That is not obstruction. Joe Biden is actively working to stop the investigation. This would be the same as Eric Holder declaring that Fast and Furious was covered by executive privilege, or Eric Holder firing anyone investigating Fast and Furious. This would be the same as the sitting attorney general exonerating Hillary Clinton before an investigation, after we know that servers were destroyed and bleach pitted and so on. Oh, wait, that actually did happen. The Democrats are no longer even hiding their tyrant ways. You see, under a tyrant, you're not allowed to even look at anything they don't want you to look at. Someone died because as they were walking down a street, three black SUVs drove by, and someone shot a single shot that hit them in the temple. Accident. Say someone who has information that would expose someone as guilty of crimes, and they are, quote, mugged in an area and nothing taken from them. Video disappears. The person is later in stable condition in a hospital and then mysteriously dies in that same hospital, and no investigation is done. Sound familiar? How about a man in his, I believe, 60s going to a weekend gathering at someone's home and being in very, very good health for his age, and then just mysteriously dying in his sleep, and no autopsy is allowed? Sound familiar? Well, the last two should. That would be Seth Rich and Antonin Scalia. You see, Seth Rich had information that would pretty much guarantee a stint at Gitmo for Hillary. And a lot of other people have come out and said they had information, and all of them commit suicide by a double tap to the back of the head. Or Antonin Scalia, one of the more conservative justices on the Supreme Court in 2016. And notice that Barack Obama himself ordered that no autopsy be done on a healthy man that just mysteriously died in his sleep. I could understand if he were in his late 80s, early 90s, and in very, very bad health, just saying it was his time. But he was not either of those things. But no investigation was allowed. Now that we actually have very credible reasons to investigate this. Joe Biden, who is not in any position of power at all, is ordering the U.S. government not to investigate his son. We know that his son profited off Chinese contacts after Joe Biden and he visited China. We have people that have proven Joe Biden threatened the Ukraine with revocation of a loan if they didn't fire an official who was investigating his son. Mr. Biden, if there's no reason to investigate, why did you hold hostage a loan to the Ukraine until someone who was investigating your son was fired? You see, this is the problem Democrats have. They're horrible actors. None of them know how to actually get in front of a camera and actually make you believe them. Rather, all they do is get in front of a camera, scream and yell and insult you until you obey them or until you prove that they were obstructing. And that is wrong. Honestly, it is. Joe Biden needs to shut up. The American government is going to investigate his son, and if found to have done anything wrong, his son needs to be punished. We need to end this multi-tier justice system that we have in the U.S., where we peasants are held to the very letter of the law. Those in city, county, and state government, well, they get away with little things. Those at the federal level, who aren't really big names, well, they get away with some more stuff. But if you're a congressman, senator, or in the White House as president or vice, you can do whatever you want, up to and including murder, and get away with it. You see, we know that Barack Obama very much wanted foreign elections to go the way they did not go. And we have a lot of people who are putting forth very believable statements that he interfered in those foreign elections. We have proof that foreign people or organizations donated to Hillary Clinton and her campaign in 2016, which is illegal. That would be foreign interference. But we're not allowed to look at any of that. We're not allowed to look at how Loretta Lynch instructed people not to investigate Hillary Clinton, or to call it unfortunate, not a crime, which it was. But now that all of that 2016 nonsense is over, they go into investigation after investigation after investigation against Donald Trump, finding anything and everything they can twist and shred and lie about to demand that power be handed back to them. And unless they're stopped, we're going to see this country fracture and crumble and just end. And I don't want that. I know, yes, my state would probably survive and thrive after a year or two, but I don't want the dissolution and breakup and just end of this country. What I want is for rule of law, actual rule of law, where when someone is mugged but nothing is taken from them and then they die while in recovery in stable condition in a hospital, that's investigated as a crime. And I don't care who or how high they are in the government, the person responsible goes to prison. And it needs to happen, because until we show the world that our laws affect all American citizens and that our immigration laws affect everyone crossing our border illegally in the same way, we are going to be a laughingstock. And I just can't stand that. But I've talked long enough about this. Make sure to comment down below. Just keep it civil. We do not learn from argument. We learn from debate. Please also remember to like, share, and subscribe, as well as to activate notifications so that you're among the first to know of all new content as it is posted. Until next time, everyone have a wonderful day.